from today's TMJ4.
This is breaking news now.
Brewers left fielder Ryan Braun fielding questions, offering his first public comments since being suspended from baseball. Braun seemingly popped up out of nowhere today, appearing this morning at a food drive outside of Miller Park.
He has appeared here and there in public since the suspension, but this was the first time he answered the question so many fans have had.
And Mike Jacobs was there attending the news conference, Mike, and here to tell us a little bit more about what Braun said.
Very interesting to have him show up, a very carefully crafted media event designed to put Braun in a positive light and also to begin to put his problems behind him. Braun spent more than a half an hour in the bitter cold this morning accepting food donations for the Hunger Task Force outside Miller Park. People driving up seemed to be pretty shocked and even a little awestruck that Ryan Braun was there. Well, then he faced the media for the first time since his 65-game suspension for using performance-enhancing drugs. Apologized several times, also disclosed that he actually met with the drug tester that he accused of tampering with his urine specimen.
In your opinion, was the bigger sin using the PEDs or lying about it after the fact?
You know, as I stated, I think the goal for me is just being able to move forward. I'm not really going to get into too many specifics about what happened other than saying that I'm extremely remorseful. I wish that I could go back and change things, but I don't have that opportunity to do that. So I'm just going to do everything in my power to move forward.
Have you apologized to Dino Lorenzi or made any payments to him?
I have not made any payments to him. I've had some really productive and positive conversations with him. The Lorenzi family was actually gracious and kind enough to have my fiance Larissa and I over their house for dinner last night, and we had some really good conversation. We've made amends, and I think we're both excited to be able to move forward and put this behind us.
What about words directly to Bud Selig?
I did. I wrote Bud a letter, but other than that, I'm not really going to get into too many specifics.
So what type of response do you expect to receive from the fans on opening day?
You know, everywhere I've been, people have been incredibly supportive, and I'm extremely appreciative of that. I don't really know what to expect, but again, everybody has been extremely supportive, and I really appreciate that.
Now, Braun declined to go into specifics about his drug use, which was disappointing. I think he said like 6 or 8 times, not going to get into specifics. But I was otherwise pretty impressed that he answered most of the other questions we fired at him. Seemed to be genuinely sorry for all the trouble he caused, but we also have to remember he was pretty convincing when he denied using drugs at spring training back in 2012. So you kind of have to be careful about how much you embrace what we heard today.
You have thoughts on the timing of the announcement or why even he decided to do this?
Well, you know, I think from his own standpoint and from the Brewers' standpoint, he had to address this at some point. Probably didn't want it to happen at spring training because it would be a huge distraction to the entire team and the organization. So it just made good sense for him to, you know, get it over with now and do it at an event where there was some good being done with the food drive.
And it was a food drive, so certainly there were fans out there. What were you hearing from them?
Well, you know, I didn't know quite what to expect. First of all, they were very shocked and surprised when Ryan Braun was really there. But then I asked him, I said, well, what do you think? And they said, you know, almost everybody said, everybody makes mistakes, and they were all, to a person that I spoke with this morning, willing to forgive and move on. And one other note, the young lady standing behind Ryan Braun at the news conference, yes, that was his supermodel girlfriend. So people have asked, who was that? Well, now you know.
And you asked when, and he said soon.
He did. Right? I said, when are you going to get married? And he said soon. He wouldn't tell us when.
I guess you're not invited.
Well, I don't know. I haven't gotten to save the date card yet.
Not yet. All right, thanks, Mike. Appreciate that.
And our question today, of course, has to do with Ryan Braun. Has Ryan Braun made a sufficient apology? Sound off by calling 414-967-5304 or visit us on Facebook at today's TMJ4.
Well, new today at noon, the man charged with